Thank you. Senator Coons.
Thank you, Senator Moody, and thank you to our witnesses today for your service and for all that the U.S. Marshals and the DEA have done nationally and in my home community. I spent a decade in county government. I was the county executive for 6 years and responsible for the second largest law enforcement agency in our small state of 1 million people. But my agency did policing for 500,000 people. And we benefited from many federal task forces, from working with ATF, with FBI, with DEA, with the Marshal Service in order to clear warrants that had been long unserved, to arrest dangerous felons who'd come to our state from the region, to investigate and bust gangs that were dealing in drugs. Federal resources really can help local law enforcement. And I'm the co-chair of the Bipartisan Law Enforcement Caucus with Senator Cornyn. And frankly, we recently did an event on judicial safety where we heard from federal, state, and local judges who had been threatened. If I might just follow up on what Senator Whitehouse was asking briefly, Mr. Marquetos, I assume he was referring to the very recent rise, the alarming rise, in the delivery of pizzas to the homes of federal judges and their families using the name of Daniel Anderl, who's the murdered son of New Jersey Federal District Court Judge Esther Salas. I've heard from federal judges about their alarm about this so-called pizza doxing, and that it's happened not a few times, but literally over 100 times nationally. Is this something the Marshals Service is investigating, the potential for there being a conspiracy to deliver these pizzas all over the country to federal, district, and circuit court judges and their families at their homes?
Senator, thank you for that question. Again, the Judicial Security Mission will and always will remain the focal point of the United States Marshal Service. Under the
are
leadership,
you investigating the possibility of a conspiracy that's actually delivering in an organized way these pizzas to threaten our federal judiciary?
Senator, I am aware of this inappropriate activity, and the Marshal Service is looking into it.
Thank you. I'd welcome more information about what exactly you're doing. My hometown, to get back to my main point, forgive me, the city of Wilmington and Newcastle County saw a steady rise in violent crime over a number of years for a variety of reasons. And under the two previous administrations, first Trump administration, Biden administration, I worked hard to ask for, get, and deliver more federal law enforcement resources that, in partnership with our city, county, and state police, did a remarkable job. Part 1 crimes, and in particular murder, robbery, rape, are down significantly compared to where they were just several years ago. It's been a real positive story of more policing resources delivering a safer community. What I'm concerned about, bluntly, is the way this whole hearing was framed. Framing crime as a blue city issue, I think disrespects the hard work of law enforcement, the impact on communities, the victims and their families that yearn for real solutions. When we've got some very positive, concrete stories in both red cities and blue cities and red states and blue states about real progress in fighting crime and bringing it down. My concern is that this year, the Trump administration has taken concrete actions that have canceled hundreds of millions of dollars of the Office of Justice Program grants, including some that were helping in my community, effective gun violence prevention, policing and prosecution programs, and victim support services, literally defunding our local police, and diverting federal agents and prosecutors who've been investigating violent crime, drugs, and corruption in my home community to a mass deportation agenda, and that has rolled back common sense gun safety regulations. So, Mr. Gumenes, if I might, can you just answer, Reuters is reporting that federal drug arrests and prosecutions are down this year compared to last year, and in fact that prosecutions are at the lowest level in decades, which some sources in the story attribute to the decline in focus on these areas and refocusing on immigration. Have you seen a slowdown in arrests in your area of responsibility, and what's your explanation for the slowdown in prosecutions that may have resulted?
Senator, thank you for the question. I believe that that article was referencing just prosecutions, but for arrests in my AOR, I'm actually up this year. As a matter of fact, my division has seized more fentanyl this year than we did last year. So for my division, our arrests are up.
I think that's good news. More broadly, we've seen the diversion of federal law enforcement sources from fighting complex crime to managing and responding to street crime. Since the start of the DC emergency, how much of your manpower in terms of agent hours has been devoted to street patrols, and how's that relate before the emergency? And then is that something all of your agents are doing? And how do they account for the time that takes out of the complex investigations that the DEA is really specifically talented at?
And you can briefly answer.
Thank you, Senator. Senator, thank you for your question, but I think that was about 3 questions, so if I can break them down on each one, if you don't mind.
I think I'm the last questioning senator, so perhaps the
Go
chairman
ahead.
will
Okay,
indulge
thank you.
me for a question or two.
No problem, Senator
Certainly.
Coons. So we haven't changed our posture. DEA will always answer the call. If it's a long-term investigation to if it's support in the Metropolitan Police Department, support to any state and local agency that's within my AOR, my area of responsibility. I apologize. For example, we started this surge on August 7th, and I had my division kind of pull the numbers, so that's about a month and a half, give or take. We have still arrested 23 individuals. We have still seized $51,000, 28 firearms. We just ran nationwide 2 surges for fentanyl and CJ&G, the 2 cartels that are poisoning about 95% of our population with the synthetic poisonings that are destroying our communities. 300,000 people in 3 years. So fentanyl, just in D.C., 8 arrests, 113 kilograms of fentanyl, cocaine, and marijuana, $50,000 in cash, 21 firearms. CJ&G, just in the district, 8 keys of cocaine. If we take that outside the district and include the other 2 states, that's 18 arrests, 1,617 kilos of cocaine, over 2,000 counterfeit pills of fentanyl, 119,000 seized, 32 weapons.
Right.
My agents, Senator, believe in the mission, believe in what DEA does, because we're members of the community. We live in the community. We shop in the community. Our kids go to the same schools as anybody else in the community. We believe in the mission, and we're not going to stop regardless of what it is. Even if they're told to go do something else for a couple hours, they're coming back to fulfill their mission because they believe in the mission of DEA. And it is, as a community member, it breaks my heart to see someone like Ms. Cook sitting over here talking about the death of her son. And the amount of people that I speak to that lose their child to fentanyl trafficking breaks my heart. 300,000 souls that will not be at Christmas or Thanksgiving dinners over the last 3 years because of that synthetic drug and that carnage that the cartels are pushing on our community. So to answer your question, I know it's long-winded, but my men and women at the Washington Division are passionate. And as Senator Moody will tell you, every DEA agent is passionate about what we do, and we will save our communities.
Special Agent Gimenez, thank you. Let me be clear. In my experience, I've seen highly effective DEA agents come to partner with state and local law enforcement, and where local law enforcement was doing the street-level patrolling and the arrests, elevate our ability to actually interdict, investigate, arrest, and then refer for successful prosecution complex drug rings. But I wouldn't, unless there was a dramatic increase in the number of DEA agents, I wouldn't ask those DEA agents to do what the patrol officers of the county police department were doing. And I just want to make sure that we are not taking very specialized and talented DEA agents off mission in order to do something that shows visibility, but doesn't ultimately use your unique skills and talents. I have experienced that passion among the DEA in Delaware, and I'll just conclude by saying I appreciate it. I just hope, as someone who believes in community policing and in federal, state, and local partnership, I hope we are making the best use of your resources and not cutting critical programs that have been shown to work to interdict and fight crime. Thank you, and thank you, Senator.
Senator.